Good morning everyone. So now we have completed very basic things. First we have seen how to write some letters or all alphabets of Sanskrit and how to pronounce all those letters without having any mistakes. And after that we had gone to some other points also and we have seen them. Now like Maheshwara Sutras, all those things we have learnt, and with that some words also, word table, which will play a major role when we are constructing a sentence or when we are reading a Sanskrit prose or something else and try to understand. That time the table will play a major role over there. So now only see, now till now we have seen only the nouns part. Why? Because words will come under noun or something like that. Adjectives, all those things, in all those places we can use them depending on the cases, right? But we don't know the verbs, how to use the verbs, when to use the verbs, like present, past, future, all these things we don't know. Actually we don't know the difference between other languages and the Sanskrit, the verb usage. So this part will discuss about majorly on verbs. Okay, let us move on. Yes, introduction is here. Verbs are nothing but action words roughly. Yes, we know this one, and in other language also you have seen. In English also you have learned the same thing. Action words are called verbs roughly. Yes, see, someone is going, so I don't say going. See, I can say his action. What is he doing? Maybe he's having some food, or he is drinking some water, whatever the thing. So that moment, what is he doing? After seeing that, I need to tell that what is he doing. So that is called verb. It's an action word. So like roughly we can take as action word is called verbs. So then there will be a root or an origin for all the words. Yes, in Sanskrit there will be an origin for all the words. It might be a word, it might be a verb, whichever the one, but there will be a root or an origin. For example, let us take rum is a root. I'll write over here, rum is a root. By this we can word also will happen as well as verb also will happen. If I write Ramaha, then it's a word. If I write Ramate, it's a verb. So from the same origin, from the same rum origin, two things, one is word and the one is verb, both also will come out. So every word, whichever the word you take in Sanskrit, every single word is having a root for that. That root or an origin will be there for that. It will be an important part over here. You will get to know later. See, all the words what we use are having Sanskrit origin only, unlike English. Yes, why I am saying this one? Because all the words whatever we use in Sanskrit, they will be having Sanskrit origin only, but not some other language origin. Unlike English I have written. Why? Because you would have seen in science or in in any other part, in mathematics or in somewhere in geography and all, when you are studying some new words, some non-familiar word will be there, and they will discuss about it. This word has come from Latin, this word has come from some other Greek or some other language. So English is having origin in any other language also, it has its origin, but in Sanskrit all the words are having its own origin. Sanskrit only will give the origin also for that particular word or a verb. That's an important point we need to know. And then many Indian languages also are influenced by Sanskrit greatly. Yes, why? Because see, Indian languages, which means I can take South Indian languages, because it will be very easier to make the differences. Say for example Kannada, and then Telugu, and then Tamil, Malayalam, okay, we'll go up, Marathi, then in Orissa, Odissi will be there. It's like that. Hindi is there. So many other languages in India. See, all these languages are having or they got influenced by Sanskrit very much. See, if you know Kannada language properly, or your mother tongue is Kannada, you can feel that so many words you can see here in Kannada also as well as in Sanskrit also, which means Kannada language has taken many words, or Kannada words are having some origin from Sanskrit or origin in Sanskrit. The same way Telugu or in Malayalam, all these languages are having a connection with the Sanskrit language. Then when a root getting added with some suffixes, they will act as a word or a verb. Yes, I have shown over here ram I have written. It's a root. I said it's a root. When you add some suffixes after this ram root, if you add any suffix, some particular suffixes are there. If you add a particular suffix, then it will become ramaha. If you add another suffix, it will become ramate. So ramaha word will come from the same origin with some suffix. The same way ramate verb also will come from the same root ram with some other suffix. So when we add suffixes, then word or verb will be generated from the root. Then words will have different suffixes and verbs will have some other. Yes, words and verbs, these both are not having the same suffixes, because you know that one. See, ram is there. If I add a particular suffix to this root, then ramaha will happen, but the same suffix cannot be used to create ramate. Then definitely there should be some other suffix, because ram is very common thing in the both ramaha and ramate. But I need to create ramaha, I need to go for a suffix. Then the same suffix cannot be used for ramate. There will be a different suffix to create ramate. These are the major and important parts when we are understanding verbs and words. Now we'll move on to the words. Yes, here you can see roots, then nominal roots, verbal roots, which means, so nominal roots which will create nouns, verbal roots which will create verbs. So for example, balaha, mala, vanam, these kind of nouns will come out of nominal roots, as well as chalati, khadati, pibati or gachati, whatever the verbs you know, all of them will come from some other verbal roots. How? I'll write over here, you can see. I'll take balaha. In the beginning, bala, only bala will be there. Then after adding some suffix, then you will get a word balaha. Balaha. Okay. And then the same way, chala. Chala is a verb over here. When you add some other suffix for this verb, then what will happen? Then the verb chalati will happen. This is how a word and a verb will be generated or will be created. So verbal roots will help to create verbs, nominal roots will help to create nouns, but both of them, nominal root as well as verbal root, both of them are having same origin, roots. Now we'll move on to the verbal part. Yes, here you can see there are 10 lakaras or tenses, let us call roughly tenses. Mainly 3 of them are important: past, present and future. You know, past tense, present tense and future tense in English or in any other language. The same way in Sanskrit also, majorly these 3 things, 10 of them are also major ones only. But what we require, see, for us right away we require only 3 as important. That's the reason I have put past, present and future are important ones out of those 10 I have written. Okay, now we'll go to the present. When you add some suffixes to any root, you will get present verb usage. How? For example, here you can see chal, pib, khad, gam, vardh, char, varsh, mod. These are all the roots, verbal roots. Okay, for them, when you are going to add ti, then what will happen? Chalati, chalati, pibati, pibati, khadati, khadati. Then if you add taha, what will happen? Chalataha, chalataha, pibataha, khadataha. The same way when you add anti suffix to any of them, chalamti, pibanti, khadanti will happen. The same way all the other verbs, even other roots also, vardh, char, charati, charataha, charanti, varsh, varshati, varshataha, varshanti. In that way all these verbs will be generated, words will be getting generated. Okay, but I am talking about present now. I haven't gone still for the past or the future, only present part I am talking about. So when we have to make or when we have to use a verb in past tense, then I should not use these 3 suffixes, but they will be having some other suffixes. We'll see the both when we are learning past and future later. Some verbs I have written over here. Yes, chalati, walking. The meaning also you can see over here. Tishtati, standing. Kshipati, throwing something. Kurdati, jumping. Grinhati, holding. Upavishati, sitting. Tarati, swimming. Chitrati, painting. Arohati, climbing. So these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 4, 9. So these 9 verbs I have given over here. You can practice them later, no problem. After having, see, you should not practice throwing, kshipati, throwing, kshipati, throwing, kshipati, not in that way. But you need to remember the picture. A monkey is throwing a ball, right? Monkey is throwing a ball over here. See, when throwing something, then what should I use? That moment you should not think like throwing is kshipati, but you should think the picture. Monkey was throwing something, then that is called kshipati. That's how you need to think in Sanskrit. And then you should use the verb when you are constructing a sentence. That's how you need to use the verbs or any other words also in Sanskrit. That's how you need to learn this language. Next will be present in the person. Yes, we know that one. There are 3 persons: third person, second person and first person. We'll see the differences. Yeah, in Sanskrit what do they call? In Sanskrit they are called purushas. This person or person is called purusha in Sanskrit. Prathama purusha, madhyama purusha and uttama purusha. Prathama purusha, which means third person. Madhyama purusha, which means second person. Uttama purusha, which means first person. Okay, so first, second and third. Okay, prathama, third person. Prathama purusha doesn't mean first person. Prathama purusha, which means third person. That's a confusion. Prathama, the word prathama gives a meaning as first one, but when you come to purusha's concept, that moment you should not take prathama purusha, which means first person, but you should take prathama purusha, which means third person. Then uttama purusha, which means first person. That's how you need to think. Madhyama, yes, madhyama is not the first, not the last, so which means middle one, second person. You have fixed this. So uttama, which means first. Uttama, which means first. Prathama purusha, which means third. That's how you need to understand them. Yeah, prathama purusha is called third person in English. Okay, the same way. Chalati, pibati, okay, chalati, pibati, khadati, gachati, vardhate, charati, varshati, modate. All of them are called, all of them will be coming under third person. And then what about this ti, taha and anti? There is a point. See, for example, he is going, he, then here they are going, which means plural. When you are using a present tense in plural form, then what will happen? Khadanti, you can see here, khadanti. If you are using he, someone is eating, then khadati. That is the difference, singular and plural. I'll write over here, singular and plural. So L. Okay, saha balakaha khadati, balakaha khadanti, or Sita pibati, Sitaha pibanti. That's the difference between ti and anti. This is a major point. Okay, and next here you can see you can make a sentence now. I have written already for them upavishati, which means sitting. You know who is sitting? Balakaha upavishati, balakaha upavishati, balaha or balakaha, you can take anything. The same way tishtati, let us take a name, Ramaha tishtati. Okay, someone is reading here, it's a girl, I think. Yes, let us take a girl's name, maybe Sita patati. And someone is singing, let us take Rameshaha. Okay, Rameshaha gayati. Then someone is chalayati, someone is driving. Let us take Purushaha, a man. Purushaha chalayati, vahanam chalayati, right? So this is how we need to use the verbs in a sentence. Ramaha tishtati, right? The same way Balaha upavishati, Rameshaha gayati, right? This is how we need to use the verbs and the words hand in hand. If I am saying Balaha as a one person, then I should say upavishati, ti. If I say Ramaha, a single person, then again ti. Okay, that is how singular. I have written here singular usage. Then how it would be in plural? When you come to plural part, then that's a point you need to know. See, here many of them are listening something. Yes, music they are listening, right? Shrunvanti, anti. Can you see this one over here? Anti, kridanti. So pathanti, chalanti, gayanti, right? So I'll write Balaha upavishati, I said. Now I am saying Balaha. See, this is the difference. Balaha gayanti, right? Then students. What do you say for students? Chatraha, I should say. Chatraha. Chatraha chalanti. Again, balakaha pathanti. Then balakaha kridanti. Then chatraha shrunvanti. In that way, the plural form should be used. Okay, this is how we need to make the sentences. Yes, you can see here some of them. Third person sentences. How to use the sentences? Balakaha chalati is there, right? Balakaha chalati, you know this one. Balaka, a boy is going. So kim chalati? Then balakaha shalam chalati. Balakaha shalam chalati, right? The same way, Ramaha khadati, right? Ramaha kim khadati? Ramaha phalam khadati, right? Ramaha phalam khadati. Then Sita gayati. Kim gayati? Sita ganam gayati. In that way, we need to use the verbs and the words in a sentence. Then some pictures are over here. You can find what they are doing. You can find what they are doing. You can find which verb to be used. You can find whether singular or plural. That also you can find, and you can make a sentence. For example, I'll tell here a boy. I'll write balakaha. You can take any name. Balakaha gayati. Sentence is over. If you write balakaha ganam, complete sentence. Balakaha ganam gayati, right? If you take over here, I'll write chatraha, some boy, some students, okay? Chatraha. See, why I cannot take chatraha? Because many of them are there, right? So chatraha, I'll write kridanti, okay? Kridanti. Then kim chatraha kridam. Chatraha kridam kridanti. So completed. The same way you need to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 sentences. Out of 8, 5 of them are singular, 3 of them are plural. You can make the sentences over there. We have seen now in present tense how to use Prathama Purusha, which means third person. How to use third person? Balakaha khadati, Sita gacchati, Ramaha pujati. In that way, we need to use third person. Whenever we are using third person, verb will end with ti, that is fiction. In singular, that is fiction. So in plural, anti. For example, Ramaha pujanti, Sitaha khadanti, Balakaha kridanti. In that way. Then first person, which means Uttama Purusha, right? Uttama Purusha, I have written here. How to use them? Uttama Purusha, the first person in Sanskrit is the point now. Once again, you can go over here. See, you can find all the verbs over here. Chalati, pibati, khad, chal, pib, khad, gam, all roots you can find over here. Verbal roots you can find over here. Suffixes, which suffixes? Can I use the same suffixes ti, taha and anti to create some uttama purusha related verbs also? No. Then these, when I'm planning to create some sentences in uttama purusha, that moment the same suffixes cannot be used. Why? Because with these suffixes I can get only prathama purusha or third person's verb I can get, but I cannot generate uttama purusha or first person's verb with the same suffixes. That's the reason some other suffixes will come over there. They are mi, avaha, amaha. Mi or ami. Ami also you can take instead of only mi. You can write ami also. For your understanding purpose, let us take. See, chala is there. It's a root. When you add mi or ami to chala verb or a chala root, then what will happen? Chalami, right? Chala ami, chalami. The same way, pib ami, pibami. The same way, khad ami, khadami. Then how to use in plural amaha? You can see over here ami here, amaha in plural, singular and plural. Okay, so amaha, what will happen? Chala amaha, chalamaha, pib amaha, pibamaha, khad amaha, khadamaha. That is how we need to use the verbs with these ami, avaha, amaha, with these suffixes to create first person related verbs. But those ti, taha, anti, those three suffixes, they won't help us to create any first person related verbs. That we need to understand first. Now we will see with some examples. Yeah, before that we need to know what is first person. Yes, third person, which means I know, I think you have seen that balakaha I said, which means masculine word will go with that. I said sita also, feminine word will go with that. I said, I didn't say, but vanam I have introduced in the beginning, right? Vanam I said, so which means vanam also will go with this. So which means what is it, remaining thing? Or what do we call for first person? In English I have written I am. Yes, in English I am going, I am, or I will be the first person in English, which means uttama purusha. In Sanskrit I can write uttama purusha over here, uttama purusha. Uttama purusha in Sanskrit, which means first person. Okay, what is that? Let us see which one is that. Yes, here is a word for I am, which is aham. You have heard this word many times, aham. In singular I will write over here, in singular aham. What is this? Vayam is plural, which means aham ami, vayam amaha, right? Aham ami, vayam amaha. So how ami? Aham chal ami, aham chalami, vayam chal amaha, chalamaha. So aham chalami and vayam chalamaha. This is how the difference will be there. Aham chalami, vayam chalamaha. I am and we are, whatever. So then is there any other word instead of aham? No, only you need to use aham. Only one word aham will go with ami. Whenever you are using ami, chalami, pibami, khadami, gachami, or pujami, nrityami, gayami, then the subject will be aham itself. Aham, only the subject. None other than can be a subject over there when you are using chalami, pibami, these kind of verbs in Uttama Purusha. Then how this vayam will go? Yes, vayam is plural form of aham. Plural form of aham. So which means vayam chalamaha, vayam khadamaha, vayam pibamaha. So which means when you are using a verb saying chalamaha, khadamaha, gachamaha, then the subject will be vayam only, always. That you need to remember. The same way, whenever you are using chalami, khadami, pibami, then the subject will be aham only, ever. So those subjects cannot be changed when we are using Uttama Purusha. This is the word for Uttama Purusha, or these are the words for singular and plural in Uttama Purusha. Okay, we'll see some examples. Yes, upavishami. Already I have written out here aham. Aham upavishami. Aham tisthami. Aham pathami. Aham gayami. Aham chalayami. See, if you think it's a girl, let us take she. Okay, if you think it's a girl, I said aham pathami, right? Which means gender wise also there is no gender for this word aham. A girl can use the same word to say I am, aham. Same way boy also can say the same word to say I am, aham. So for boys, for feminine gender as well as masculine gender as well as neutral gender also, aham is the only word for Uttama Purusha usage. Gender wise separation won't be there in first person's usage. Aham chalami, pibami, khadami, whatever. Then when I use vayam, what will happen? Vayam chalamaha. We'll see that one next. Okay, here it is vayam. See, vayam shrunumaha, vayam kridamaha, vayam pathamaha, vayam chalamaha, vayam gayamaha, right? See, all of them. Maha, amaha, right? Amaha. Here also pathamaha, amaha, right? So when you are using vayam, you need to remember you are using amaha. So vayam amaha. What amaha? Vayam chalamaha, vayam pibamaha, vayam khadamaha, vayam charamaha, vayam gachamaha. So together we need to say chalamaha. So this is how we need to use plural form, present tense, and which tense? Uttama Purusha, which means first person. Okay, so now some examples are over here for your practice again. Aham and vayam. Aham is, say here also, singular and plural you need to know. Which is singular, which is plural, you can easily make out. So see here, for example, we are climbing over, we are playing, we are walking, I am writing, I am throwing, right? This is how singular, plural you know how to use. Then what they are doing, you can see what they are doing. The action can be seen in those pictures, right? Then the tense, present, you know that. And the Purusha is Uttama Purusha, which means first person, you know this one also. Only thing is that you need to find out the verbs and need to make this sentence. For example, I am going for this again, aham. So aham gayami, I'll take gayami, right? Kim gayami? Aham ganam gayami, right? And then here, can I write aham over here? No, if I write aham, it will be wrong. Why? Because we are playing over there. So I should say vayam kridamaha. Vayam kridamaha. Kim kridamaha? Vayam kridamaha. This is how we need to use all these verbs. So you know what is climbing. If you don't know any of the verb over here, action words over here, go back to those monkeys picture. You can find what monkey is doing. The same thing they are also doing. Okay, the same action is being done by these people also. You have seen all those verbs already. So you need to practice the sentences, which means in first person singular plural as well as third person singular and plural. First person singular plural, which means uttama purusha, ekavachana, bahuvachana. Then third person singular plural, which means third person singular and plural. These are all to be done by you. Okay, for your practice again. When you practice this one, and after that you can find, whenever you are finding something, you can try to make sentences over there. After this, you will find the assignments also. Please make the assignments and submit to your coordinators in time. Thank you.